everybody, it's Friday evening. I'm sitting on my porch. I actually hadn't planned on doing a video, but I finished my supper and my dishes and I came out here to rest a few minutes, and I thought, well, I usually don't do videos on the weekends, and I thought, okay, I'll just do a quick video while I'm sitting out on the porch resting. I actually was on the other side of my porch and on my porch swing, and the sun came out pretty strong over there, so I moved over here to this side, sitting in my wicker chair, which I love. This wicker chair, is really comfortable, but I love my porch swing too. I love just to swing back and forth, but the sun came out really bright over there, so it made me move over on this side of the porch. But I thought I would just do a quick video since it's Friday evening, and I wouldn't get to chat with you probably until Monday sometime. So I hope you're having a good Friday. What have you been into today? I actually went to, a car came by. It seems like every time I do a video, a car comes by, and we don't have that much traffic on this road. But every time I do a video, it seems like a car comes by. But anyway, I went out to town earlier today. I had to get some groceries. Tomorrow I'll be making a meatloaf dinner for my husband. His birthday was actually last Saturday, but we were in the process of doing, this kitchen fiasco, with my kitchen sink and everything. So we were right in the middle of trying to get that kitchen sink and cabinets and countertop and all that in. And I didn't get to do his birthday dinner on his actual birthday Saturday because my stove was moved out in the middle of the floor. And so we decided to, postpone it until this weekend. And he actually requested a meatloaf dinner, which surprised me because usually he wants some kind of rib dinner or, something like that. And so he said he would like to have just a old-fashioned meatloaf dinner, which was fine with me. So he wants meatloaf and mashed potatoes and peas and rolls. So that's fine. I'll get up tomorrow and make him a meatloaf dinner. And so you guys know by now that I'm a vegetarian. So for me, I'm going to make baked spaghetti, which will be a vegetarian baked spaghetti for me. So I will be making it like with the spaghetti, but I'll be putting vegetables in it, zucchini and squash, and with the sauce. And so that's what I'm going to make. But he likes baked spaghetti as well. So I'm going to make enough meatloaf and baked spaghetti that we'll be able to have leftovers for next week, and that will be easier on me. So tomorrow will be a cooking day for me. So I'll be making meatloaf dinner, baked spaghetti, and for dessert, which he has really surprised me. So he is full of surprises for his birthday. Instead of like a traditional, birthday cake, he wanted a peach pie. So I thought maybe he's just trying to make it easier on me this year. But, he actually loves peach pie too, so maybe not. So maybe he's not trying to make it easier on me. He just loves peach pie as well. But he saw a peach pie in the frozen, section of the one of the stores we were in, and he said, "I think I'd like to have that for my birthday instead of a cake." So I thought, okay, we'll go with that. So all I have to do is just put it in the oven and bake it tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to go with a peach pie, and so that will make it easier on me too. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow is, making the meatloaf dinner with all the fixings, and I'll be making a baked spaghetti. So I'll be busy tomorrow, baking, and so it'll be a baking day tomorrow. But next week I'll have lots of leftovers. So all I'll have to do is just warm them up for maybe a day or two. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. And then Sunday, I may have some leftovers Sunday. So that's what my weekend's going to be. So I hope you're going to have a nice weekend. So yeah. And something else, when you go to the stores and you get to the checkouts, they will ask you, would you like to make a donation to whatever charity is that they're taking a donation up for? They do that quite often. And I was wanting to know what your thoughts on that is. I think it's really great that they do take up, donations for charities. But sometimes, and I don't mean to be mean about it or anything, or sound ungrateful or uncharitable. Does that get on your nerves sometimes? Because you go to one store and they do that, and then you go to another store and they do that. And if you've given one store, you go to another store and they ask the same thing. Um, and I have charities that I do give to, and I have my own charities. At the end of the year, there are charities that I like to give to, and I have envelopes that I do send in for charities. Is it ungrateful if you say no at the stores? When they ask, if they ask you, would you like to round up to the next dollar, or would you like to give $1 to this charity? Is it ungrateful if you say no? Because a lot of times, it can get expensive. If you always say yes, and especially if you're on a budget or if you're on a limited income, it can add up. So I was just wondering your thoughts on that. Do you always say yes every time? Like I don't always say no, but I don't always say yes either. I do have a budget that I have to stick to, and I am on a limited income, and I feel guilty when I say no. Like I said, I don't always say no, but I don't always say yes. Because if I say yes at one store and I go to another store, I sometimes do say no. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that, because that happened to me um, today, and it happens all the time. You know, and I was just wondering, is it ungrateful and uncharitable if you say no all the time? I do feel guilty a lot of times when I say no. Um, and sometimes the cashier does look at you like you are uncharitable, and sometimes the people in the checkout line behind you, they look at you like she's just being stingy or whatever. So I was just wondering your thoughts on it, because today I did feel guilty when I said no, but and I know sometimes it's just a few cents um, if you add, if you round up or whatever. But if you look at it this way, if you do it every time, and if you're going to several stores, and if you go a few times a week, or several times a week, or several times a month, that really adds up. And I just want to know your thoughts on it. And um, one time, a cashier really tried to shame me for not doing that. And she did. She said it's not a lot, and you can do it. It's not a lot. And I just really just come out and told her. I said it may not be a lot to you, but when you do it, several times a week or several times a month, it does add up. And I just I just told her that. And so I started avoiding her checkout when I went to the store because, she just tried to shame me every time. And I noticed that she did it to other people. So, yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts on that, because every time I go to the store, I do feel guilty about it. But, I really shouldn't feel guilty about it because, it is my money, and I do give to charity, organizations. It's not like I don't give, because I do have organizations that I do give to, especially at the end of the year. And I, every time I see the, especially at Christmas time, the red kettles from the Salvation Army, if I have change when I go out, I try to give to those. I may not be able to give to it every time, but I do try to, put some change in when I go out. But I do have envelopes that I do send in to my own organizations that I like to give to. But that was just something that I guess that was on my mind today. It's because it happened to me today at the store. Um, so that was just something on my mind. I would like to know your thoughts on it. So I'm not going to make this video long because it's getting kind of warm out here, and it's getting a little later in the evening, and I have a few things I need to do before I settle in for the night. And I just want to wish you all a happy Friday and a good weekend, and I hope you have a blessed weekend no matter what you do. So yeah, have a good weekend, everybody.